brilliant recycling time. It's a very warm Monday as well. And we're all done. Well, a new week, but gaming continues on Supraland 6 inches under. As you try and get a bit further right now, it does work and we can pop stuff. So, something that wasn't originally expected, because up until a couple of hours ago we didn't know whether it was on or whether it was off. That's RFL for you not promoting things. Well, it is what it is. So we're at OSJ, first of, I think it's possibly 3 visits this year, because we've got the Wigan scholars, I think, in the second half of the year. There's an other, so it's 613 overall, 83rd other, 52nd attendance in 2023. That's why we're trying to boost the attendances. It is 85 women's games overall, and it's the second GB England students game overall, because we saw GB teachers against the armed forces a few years ago. So now we're seeing the students. So, half time here at OSJ, so far so good for the England contingent. Well, I say England, we're going to have had a lot of say in this first half with Molly Jones, Eva Hunter and Grace Banks all going over. Half time 24-8, so far so good. So, full time here at OSJ, and for Wednesday night, a very successful one from the Wigan contingent, very good. Full time England students women are 42, UK Armed Forces women 8. So, from what I know, I think the students have won that because they played 2-1-2, so all good. Well, on Supraland again there is a credits because we've completed the story part of the game. However, there are a few glitch achievements, but it's also we're on 33 out of 53, so there's still a fair bit to go. But the credit sequence midway through the main game. At the end of the month, no significant records except for the monthly one. I've ever run recently where we've just not been able to see a 100 and go to full end. Stuck in the 2100s last week before, and I think the last one was 17th. We got a record with 14 days away. 155 across the top row, 1,372,807. Record comes with a first ever 50,500 plus, because obviously 5490 from March was the record. 51,101, which becomes the best ever month, and we're at 235k for the year itself. Just my luck after end of May with 2 weeks without a record. We start June with 12315, 155 completed across the top row, and we're on 808 days, nothing different from really yesterday, except we're on 1.374 million and 230k for the year. So yeah, brand new record, 2315. Continuing the game, we're on Debtor to try and recomplete it yet again, this time on Windows. And there you go, same clip because we did it and they all popped instantly, so all good, nice work. Well, after no record for nearly a fortnight, we end up with 2 in 2 days. 2316, which brings the weekly total up to 11,198. Not the best, but it's not far off the best. We are on 1.377 million, 809 days and 162 weeks. 155 is now on the second row. Starting of a new month, just over 4,500 and 240,000 for the year itself. We're longer up in Newcastle later today, which means that gaming needs to be done early. So just after 12, we're on Zombie Derby 2, which is the sequel to the one we did a few weeks ago on Windows. Early start at Rugby Park Arena. However, we're not staying here. We're off to Newcastle for Magic Weekend. Hopefully, it'll be a successful trip. Well, the service stop. We're at T-Bay, where we always seem to be when we go to Newcastle. T-Bay Farm Shop, possibly the most expensive services in the entire country, where a sandwich means you've got to take a mortgage out. It is independent, which is probably why. So, a very long trip where we fell asleep I think a couple of times on coach. We're here at Newcastle United St James's Park, which, as of from this year, it's going to be a Champions League ground again. It was a long time before we came here, but it's going to be again. Bit of a different stand this year in the Leeds end, which is a bit of a different one. So, we'll more news when we go in. So, we're in the stadium. We are in the Leeds end for the first time ever. We normally be in the Gallagher end, but you can see in front here, the Leeds end is where the away fans for the football go, which is right up at the top there. So we're not even going that high, but we have got a scoreboard next to us. So, it's 1 o'clock, and the final game of the day kicks off at 6. So we've got a long day ahead. First food today is a burger. Apparently it was £7. We'll see what it's like. So, game 1 of day 1. Salford Red Devils against Old Kingston Rovers. Statistics for this one: 84th other, 614 overall game, 53rd attendance of 2023, 24th Magic Weekend other, which is any game that hasn't involved Wigan. It's the 3rd time we've seen these two face each other, once in Super League, on a virtual, and twice in this competition. So, half time in game 1. Both sides have had decent scores on the board. Red Devils 10, Robins 12. It's a minor tick on the attendance one, but we have a PDRL game at half time, and it is a Wigan one, so it does count on the attendance. Salford against Wigan PDRL, 615 overall, 531 for Wigan. Second PDRL game we've seen. 91st Wigan team we've seen play, and 54 sport and attendance for the year itself. So, full time in game 1. That's success for this end of the field. Salford 26, OKR 16. Well, it's becoming a tradition this. We do an half-time report from a Wigan game, and I have a tone that sounds like the Wales about to end. Half-time, Wigan 8, Catalans 24. It hopefully will get better. Will it? Well, we don't know. And a bit of a mini attendance, because this is a community integrated LDSL. It does count because it is here and it's on the pitch. So it's 617th overall, 56th attendance for the year, and it's an LDSL virus. So full time, and despite the last 10 minutes it was spirited from Wigan. I'm sorry, but that was embarrassing. And at one point we were 46 points to 8 behind. We haven't won in 4 years now at Magic Weekend. And we've got St Helens next week. Oh, it's going to inspire people to come there. Absolutely embarrassing. Really, 4-hour coach drive to see my own team embarrassed. Unbelievable. Well, we saw them at the England doubleheader in May, and they're back again. Join the momentum. So, game to be a very long afternoon. It's Leeds against Castleford. It's also the 3rd time we've seen these two, all at Magic. 618 attendance overall, 57 for the year, 25th Magic Weekend other, which means you've now seen 25 Magic Weekend games where Wigan haven't been involved. In 11 Magic Weekends, that's not half bad. But yeah, the final game, so hopefully this one, as a neutral, will just be a nice watch. So, half time in game 3, very close. Castleford 10, Leeds 12. Well, another attendance right on today. A bit of tag rugby in the half time of the final game. It's 619 overall, and it's 58 for the year. So there you go, full time in game 3, and it's probably the closest one so far. Full time, Leeds Rhino 24. Castleford Tigers 26. So we walk out of the stadium, off to the coach, and then off home. Probably do another update when we get back on the coach station. To finish the week's game, it's Zombie Derby 2, except it's on the box.